Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here with some more Fan Fridays, and this time we have a submission from Red with a single battle Baton Pass Team. And the crazy thing is, I don't think I've seen any Baton Pass in Pokemon Sword and Shield except for my Drifblim, so this is taking that to the next level with what looks to be the ultimate Baton Pass team. You can either go Ninjask into Drifblim and do a ridiculous chain, or it's like Drifblim into Ferrothorn. That's filthy. That's never going to go anywhere. And Escavalier, I feel, is one of the most underrated Pokemon ever for many generations now. When this thing shows up and gets going, it pops Pokemon. So the Assault Vest, with whatever Drifblim's doing, that's going to be really strong. And with how much people are praising the Dracovish and the Dracozolt, where is the Ninjask Baton Pass? Focus Sash, Swords Dance, Speed Boost into these guys, and then you win. In theory. So let's go and watch how this one plays out, but it's multiple layers of Baton Pass. So I guess depending on the opponent's team composition, like what we just saw right there was Excadrill looking to be the most threatening Pokemon for the Dracozolt. So it's like, alright, if they have too much ground, don't bring Dracozolt, bring Dracovish. If Dracozolt is going to be better against that team, then you can set up that way. Or if you just want to tank stall them out with whatever they're going for, we have the Drifblim set up as well. Salac Berry on the Drifblim seems really interesting. I'll talk about that after the video, because we don't have Drifblim, we have Ninjask. So let's see what the Ninjask setup is up to when the opponent just goes for a straight Dynamax. The opponent's not taking any chances. They're like, nope, need it gone. Can't have this happen. Even though Focus Sash isn't really... The Dynamax, Focus Sash, Ninja... And none of this matters. But let's see how this battle ends up playing out. So, straight Dynamax. Ninjask still faster. And it is the substitute Ninjask. The fun has begun into the Max Flare. So, I guess that is one thing we've seen, that if there's a Sandstorm that gets set up, or Hail that gets set up, Ninjask is very weak to that, and then it's just going to get finished off by the weather effect. So maybe that's why we're not seeing as much of it, but if the opponent doesn't have that, I think you just kind of win. So, Life Orb, only costing Ninjask a quarter of its health, and then we're seeing the Cinderace lose a 10th. Keep spamming the sub. Why not? Oh man. Wait, it's Focus Sash. I'm like, Focus Sash sub? That's different. Because normally when you see the Focus Sash, it's either for like a, or not Focus Sash, normally when you see sub, it's going to be like a Lychee Berry, just so you can get that extra attack in there, or you're trying to like trade setup. You lead it, the opponent has a Ferrothorn, they have a Pokemon that can't one-hit KO you, maybe you just go full hit point speed investment as well, and then you just kind of use Swords Dance, they Stealth Rocks, and then like sub, and then you get like +3, +4 or something, and then you Baton Pass it off and it gets wild. Also, there is a lot of priority, so there are some problems for the Ninjask in setting up, but once again, if it gets going, it's busted. So you look at the opponent's team, you bring Ninjask if they don't have too many threats, you bring Drifblim if you just want a Baton Pass, because Drifblim seems to be like one of the most consistent Baton Passing Pokemon. I've been trying to mess around with Minimize, and I unfortunately don't think that's the way to go in Generation 8. There's too much Minimize hate, because Game Freak. And then, yeah, so he's getting it set up. He's below half. Now he's going to Swords Dance. Interesting. But he kept his sub because the Max Knuckle didn't do anything, so this is just the situation that we're in. So now Cinderace is like, alright, I'm trying to stack for the win, and in theory that would work if it wasn't against a speed-boosting Baton Pass Pokemon. So that's what you could do. You could either trade the setup for the substitute, then find your Swords Dance that way, or against more like offensive stuff, you just kind of like set up Swords Dance, or you protect, Swords Dance, protect, and then you get 3 turns with a +2. That going into a Draco Pokemon is just going to be a win, but there's also situations like this where you just keep playing it, and the opponent, if they don't get through your sub, you win. And against other like tanky stall Pokemon, like a Toxapex or something, you get to set up pretty hard. So we're just going to kind of watch this one play out. And then, since we have a little bit of downtime with the communication, Drifblim and the Salac Berry. I like it. I like the Citrus Berry more because it lets you like do some setup and it lets you kind of be a bit more annoying. But if you can actually get into that quarter hit point range survival, then Drifblim being able to give a speed boost is one of the most ridiculous things that could happen. And the thing about Drifblim is it's in like that perfect level of tankiness to where it usually finds a way of surviving around a quarter hit points in a lot of battles. So that took a good amount of time. Couple minutes of setup right there. That's why I was like, I just prefer the Focus Sash. But this also keeps you safe from the weather, keeps you safe from the priority. And if you can find that in, then you're good to go. Worst case scenario, you just Baton Pass speed boosts and not too much on the Swords Dance. But against like a hard offensive Pokemon, if you can sub against it, I think that's where the Lychee Berry is better. There's just so many ways of running it. That gets kind of weird. And also, when you get sub Baton Pass like this, it's triply extra over. So that's another reason. Like, when you do Baton Pass with the speed boost, you are taking a hit. But most of the time, you're going into a Pokemon that can at least take a hit. And then things happen. So, Sunlight fades. Doesn't matter because sub. Dracozolt would have resisted anyways. Weird things are going down. And that's going to be the Bolt Break. So, Life Orb on the Dracozolt. Sucker Punch. Ho! Ho! Those 2 Max Knuckles almost doing it. And that's another problem, like the priority. So yeah, while I'm trying to praise this strat, like, oh yeah, people are just running Dracozolt and Dracozolt and Dracovish. So many weird name breakdowns. They're still not that fantastic a Pokemon because you can priority them and then lose a lot of damage, but the Swords Dance kind of holds this one together, which is really nice. Life Orb means that if there is a ground type Pokemon, Dracozolt still deals with it, but the Life Orb means Dracozolt goes down. So, we are now... But then Ninjask just hits the field again, and you get another speed boost or something. Looking at what to do. I like the Taunt. That's a neat little bit of tech for the Dracozolt. Then Bolt Break. Dragon Claw. You got everything covered. The Avoid. Is that like some Bright Powder shenanigans that we were missing out on? Alright. So, even with all that, I thought Dracozolt was going to be like the most unstoppable Pokemon ever. Didn't happen that way. So things are kind of falling apart, but let's see how this battle ends up coming back. Escavalier. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely when you're going up against the Morpeko like this. Just tank it out and blow it up. Ooh, we even have the Mega Horn for the super effective hit. Or the Drill Run for the super effective hit. Or the Dynamax. Oh man, I forgot that there's Dynamax in this game. So yeah, like if you get a Baton Pass into a Dynamax, it's like extra over because then you're getting even more stats. I like the Assault Vest with the Max Quake too, and the Steel Spike. Yo, you need to like, even though Escavalier's slow, if you can get some speed boost into Escavalier and turn it into a sweeper, and then get like +2 defense, +2 special defense, or like +1 special defense with an Assault Vest, it's never gonna die. And it just blows things up. So let's see what the Drill Run does to the Morpeko. Taunt! Nah, he wasn't going for a Swords Dance. Doesn't work that way. Max Quake. I don't think things are going to go well for the Morpeko. Oh, Focus Sash, though. That's another thing that stops, like, all these crazy Baton Pass chains. So maybe that's why we're not seeing Baton Pass. A little bit overrated. Especially if you're just one of those babies at Smogon that doesn't know how to play Pokemon. But overall, this is looking very strong. Yeah, like I said, it's like, whoa, I didn't even take into consideration Dynamax being in the game. Dynamax Escavalier sounds like it's way stronger than... Yeah, it's definitely underrated. Underrated. It's definitely underrated, guys. And then especially if you can get like extra stats or support for it, this Pokemon's going to hard carry. So there's the special defense. And then there's the defense. And now it's harder to kill. It's got an extra turn of bonus. In this situation, Escavalier cannot lose. Like if the opponent uses Dynamax, Escavalier wins the game. So, I don't know. I feel like this wasn't shown off the Baton Pass team as much. And that's just a problem. Like, if you have battle replays, you can show multiple battles and replays and stuff. Yeah, Max Quake, super effective. It's big over because the Escavalier has absurd amounts of damage. But yeah, it's like one of those things where, you know, if you have your capture device or if you're just trying to set up for Fan Fridays and you have to make an actual battle submission, it takes a lot of work and investment. So if you don't get, like, a good string of battles to submit, you're just going to, like, take a good one. Like, all right, we got the Escavalier reverse sweep. I'll take that. That's pretty dope right there because Escavalier is super, super good. And I do like the idea of the Baton Pass team, but the Baton Pass was actually, like, the least effectual thing that ended up happening here. But if they were, like, battle replays, just take your best battle replays and you submit it, and then things look a lot better. Either way, that was pretty cool. Again, I love the idea of the team, but the execution seems like, you know, with Dynamax, with the weather setups, with a lot of the other Pokemon that are common, Baton Pass is actually, like, really balanced in Generation 8, keeping it from where it's like, oh yeah, Dracovish just takes off and never loses or anything like that. Drifblim, I think, is still the better one, but Ninjask can find a way to set up, and then things get really scary really quick. And the rest of the team looks pretty solid. So, tell me what you guys think. I'll see you in the next Fan Fridays. If you want to submit for yourself, capture device or like recording a good quality like off of your TV screen with a smartphone or HD camera or something, and then we'll see how it goes. So if you guys enjoy the video, I'll see you in the next